Let's go, football fans. Match week number 2 in the Premier League. We're on EPL on Pub Sports Radio. Thanks for joining us live each and every single Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Jason. He's Matt. We're here to break down match week number 2 in the Premier League. How's it going there, Matt?
It's going well, Jason. Yeah, I think week 1 was pretty interesting, and we're starting to learn a little bit more about some of these teams. Still some transfers to get across the line yet to come, and just happened this last week, but I like this card. The more and more I keep looking at it, the more and more I keep liking it. We kind of previewed the card a little bit yesterday, and I feel like I've formalized, some really solid selections here this week. So I feel good.
Nice. Look forward to seeing what bets you have. Hey, we do have the comments section open, so let us know what some of your best bets are over the course of the Premier League. Let us know what some of your leans are, and hit that like button as you're enjoying the content well. And we will also stay back till the very end. We'll do an ATG parlay, just like we did last week. We know those aren't going to hit every single weekend, and unfortunately ours missed last weekend, but hopefully we can hit 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3, which will turn more than a profit for you guys. Before we jump into the Premier League, though, there are some games in action right now this afternoon. Let's get Matt's thoughts. The whole world is on Freiburg versus Dortmund. Both teams are scoring over 2.5. Did you bet any of these afternoon games before we look at the Premier League?
So I haven't. I'm actually looking at my book right now, but, I'm seeing the lineups and it makes sense why everyone would be on something like that. These two teams have firepower, and both defenses are, suspect to say the least. So let's give me a little bit of time. We still got almost 30 minutes, and
okay.
I think it makes sense though.
Feels like I saw that initially at -120. Now it's -145. Like I'm coming in late. I feel like if I'm coming in late, I might even jump on that Freiburg team total over 1.5. Dortmund. The one thing that worries me, though, is they may focus more on the defensive side. No Holland. Haller's out with the illness/cancer-related issue. So maybe they're focused on the defense. I don't know. Both teams are scoring over 2.5, though. Feels like the right play in that one. All right, let's go. All right, let's jump into the Premier League. That's why we're here. We're going to talk all 10 games this weekend in match week number 2, break them down. Again, comment section is open. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, putting in your best bet here on Pub Sports Radio. Let's jump into it. We got Aston Villa versus Everton to kick it off Saturday morning. How's going to see this one, Matt? Any rebound here for Aston Villa?
Yeah, I think that this is the perfect bounce back that you could ask for. You go on the road to Bournemouth last week. Don't put in your best performance. Couple set pieces, little things like that. But here you go against Everton with players injured. Key defenders are out of this one, and it's a real concern for me when you're looking at Everton. I think that, Yerry Mina is a big absence. Godfrey gets out last week, and he's going to be out for many months. And then they still don't have Lewin up top. So it's just like, where do the goals come from? How does it, work out in their favor, really? And I struggle to find it. So for me, I just think that Aston Villa are better at every single position. I really wish this one was kicking off in 55 minutes, not until
right.
Tomorrow morning. But I got to admit, I really like Villa, and they're on my card this week.
That's kind of a nice little side tangent since you brought it up. Why is there not a Friday night game every Friday in the Premier League? Like, what are you doing? It seems like a missed opportunity. You put your one game, the whole world is watching it, so to speak. Missed opportunity there for the Premier League. I do agree with you, though. Villa is a nice sweet spot. Are you going to do maybe Villa on the money line, or try and do one of the under 4.5 as a parlay piece to get you more towards even money? What are you thinking
I thought
there?
Is just kind of separating my stake a little bit. So like 3/4 of my stake will just be on Villa money line. Don't complicate it. And then 1/4 of my stake, I like Villa win to 0 personally.
Okay.
So I think that deserves to be on there in a sense. Like, you're finding somewhere from +185 to +200 on a Villa win to 0. I'll do a 1/4 of my stake on that as well. I really do struggle to see Everton finding the back of the net. They struggled last week, and we'll see if they can go to toe-to-toe with this side here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for them. You mentioned them. No Richarlison, obviously. No Calvert-Lewin. Andrew Townsend, he's going to be out with the knee injury. Rodon's coming back in. Who really cares? They're not going to threaten anybody. Yeah, I'm with you. Everton's going to continue to struggle to score. Lampard's already going to be on the hot seat, going to be in a relegation fight. Villa, you said it, sweet spot for them to bounce back. And I think you may hear that theme a couple more times throughout this show. I'm with Matt. I'm not going to do the win to 0 because that is technically a parlay. I'm just going Villa on the clean sheet at +145 I'll go Villa clean sheet plus 145 for me.
Makes sense.
All right, let's jump into the next one. Arsenal's taking on Leicester here at the Emirates. You got an Arsenal team that's won the last 3 head-to-heads, have won the last 2 head-to-heads in convincing fashion, 2-0, 2-0. You had Arsenal look really good on Friday night against Crystal Palace. While Palace grew into the game in the second half, of course they had to, right? They were really abysmal in that first half. Gabriel Jesus just missed the score sheet. Think he probably finds the back of the net this week. I like Arsenal. I think you did Villa alone. I'm doing an Arsenal Villa moneyline parlay. That's how much I like Villa on the bounce back. And I really, really like Arsenal. I think this is a top 4 team. I actually think Chelsea is going to miss out on the top 4 this year, and Arsenal is going to get that spot. Really impressed with what they did in match week 1. Do you agree? Do you like Arsenal in this spot as well?
Yeah, I like Arsenal a lot here. And it's really going to go to what I thought yesterday when we talked about. I'm going to go to that parlay that I kind of cooked up in my head, and I'm going to play Arsenal on the money line combined with a bet that I guess we'll talk about here in a little bit, but it's a funky one. You can find it on Barstool plus 125, and the other leg is Haaland to score with his left foot. I think that he is such a heavy-sided left-footed player that it makes total sense. And combining it with Arsenal money line from a singles perspective, I think that Arsenal -1 makes a ton of sense. But I also do like, a more controlled Arsenal win, like Arsenal and under 4.5 makes some sense too. But yeah, Arsenal -1. But yeah, for me right now, it's going to be Arsenal on the money line combined with Haaland's left boot.
Nice. Yeah, Danny in the comment section, he agrees with you right there on that Arsenal -1 result. The one thing I'll add in there on your Haaland thing, just look at his second goal last week against West Ham. De Bruyne slips the ball into him. He's coming down the right side of the box. He could take it on his right. And what does he do? He turns his hips, opens up his body, and slots it in with his left foot. You're spot on with that analysis with Haaland on his left foot. All right, cool. So we both see that game the same there with Arsenal taking on Leicester. If you agree with that, hit that like button and let us know you like the Gunners this weekend up against Leicester as you're checking it out here on Pub Sports Radio. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Friday afternoon. Let's turn our attention now to Brighton versus Newcastle. I don't know, Matt, a fixture that I generally struggle with. Brighton can keep games low scoring. I think Newcastle can with the addition of Nick Pope. I think they can keep it low scoring. While Newcastle looked good last week against Forest. Okay, it's Forest, newbie in the Premier League. I don't know. I struggle to see goals in this fixture. This one didn't get my money because I wasn't confident on a winner. Really wasn't confident on the over-under, even though I leaned the under. What about you?
Yeah, this one is – I think it's the most difficult one on the card this week. I think that either team can win this one. I think that there could be goals. I think that both teams to score yes could definitely come in. I see this as like a 1-1. That's how I see it. The last 2 meetings between these two sides, both teams did score last season in the head-to-heads. And, I think that Brighton has a prolific enough offense, and I think that Newcastle on the counter-attack can be they can cause Brighton some problems for sure. So I think that you kind of mentioned it perfectly. Like, yes, Newcastle looked great. Like when I rewatched that game, the highlights, all of that stuff, I thought that they could have had 5, but that was against Forest. And, we'll talk about Forest here soon again, but we mentioned last week, so many new pieces in this Forest side. So it was a match of continuity with Newcastle versus some chaotic newness, if you will, with Forest. So for me in this one, it's just a complete stay away. The only time that I could find maybe an edge here, would be pre-match to see the lineups. But just to look at some of the trends here, Brighton are undefeated in 9 of 10 in the Premier League. So like dating back to the end of last season, they've been in a really, really good place. So I wouldn't want to, fade them. And I really wouldn't want to fade Newcastle either after the performance I saw last week. So pass.
Yeah, I'm with you and Henry. This is probably a stay away. There's other good betting spots on the Matchweek 2 card. Don't need to force it. So yeah, I'm with you and Henry. Let's go ahead and just take a pass. This one, if it's match week 10, maybe we play cards, maybe we play corners. Only one match week worth of data. So we'll see what happens a little bit later on when clubs like this hook up 10 weeks into the season or so. So all right, let's go ahead and turn our attention now. We got Manchester City taking on Bournemouth. Matt, I don't need to hear your analysis on why City is going to win because everybody watching this knows that City is going to win. You want to go on a limb and we'll each do a score prediction? How about that?
I mean, we got to still try to find. I agree with that. I mean, I think it's probably 4-0 Man
4-0.
City.
Okay.
Because then they just do such a good job of like controlling teams. Like they don't. I don't know. They just pass it around after it's 3. They aren't disrespectful in that sense when like they could probably throw 10 if on a day if they really wanted to. I mean, that's just the truth of it. But yeah, it's finding different angles here. Like one of the things I think that you kind of mentioned yesterday a little bit that made sense was, finding a way to get on Man City team total in the first half. Man City we've talked about this before. Yeah. Man City to like either win both halves. Man City, like Danny Lopez, City first half and over 1.5 goals in the first. Yeah. I think that all of those make a ton of sense. I'm just going to go back to what I had already selected, and it's Erling Haaland. He's going to score with his left boot. I feel pretty good about it, as long as it's not like a looping cross, because I think that's the things. I think that he's going to have 2 goals anyways. So if I can just get 1 of 2 with his left, I think that more than 50% of his goals are probably with his left foot. So I'm more than happy to use that. You can find it at Barstool. It's -190. I think it's a really good parlay piece for any other kind of action you like this weekend.
Great. I agree with the comments that have come in. Take City, take the first half, pair it with your analysis of Guardiola kinds of back off. They do so good in second halves of playing such beautiful football, of controlling the possession, but still kind of attacking, but more just kind of controlling and killing the clock. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with the comments that have rolled in. Take first half. You can get City team total only over 1.5 at +124. City's certainly going to jump on them here in the first half at home, their home debut. So I'll go ahead and take that at +124. I like Haaland to get a brace on Barstools at +195, and a brace being 2 or more goals. I think he's going to get 1. He's going to feast on teams like this in the Premier League all season long, like that. And for a score prediction, I'm going 5-0. I'm with you. It'll be a shutout. Can't wait till DraftKings posts their ball possession prop that they do on Friday night, and also they'll post their over-under on shots on target. If it's 2.5, it's a no-brainer. Take the under. If it's 1.5 at plus money, probably still take Bournemouth under 1.5 shots on target at plus money. So maybe just make sure you're following us on Twitter. I know Matt and I will maybe add some bets, or at least at some point tweet our bets out. So look to maybe add a couple of those, but should be one-way traffic at the Etihad. Let's go Man City in a rout. Let's turn our attention now to Southampton versus Leeds, a game I am not interested in on any realm. I think both of these teams are relegation kind of candidates. It didn't get my money in any way. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Leeds have an edge here. I'm surprised that Southampton, are kind of priced here just by the way that they looked last week, and it looks like Leeds have definitely taken a little bit of money over the last 24 hours, and that makes sense. I mean, I thought that the price was a little bit crazy yesterday, to get Leeds plus a quarter, around even money. That didn't seem right to me. But, I think that both of these defenses have issues. I think that we can pick on that. It's just the price isn't so good. Like both teams to score is -180. Like I think that that's another one, for example, you should find a way to pair with something else. I think that both teams can find the back of the net. I lean Leeds a little bit here just because of the goal scoring threat with Bamford. I think that the side also has just a tad bit more continuity. And so, yeah, I think that Leeds find a way to not get beat here. But I think that the best way in is the -180 at both teams to score and finding something else to pair with that. So you can get like, a +120, +150, something like that.
I do agree. I think that's a fantastic parlay piece. Keep an eye on Southampton. We know the transfer window goes until September. We know they don't have Broja, a player that they had to send back to Chelsea on loan. I think they're going to come out stumbling here in the first few games. I think they're going to go into the market and look up to snag up one of these players on loan. Again, we know that can happen up until September. So Southampton team is going to be struggling, but look for them maybe to add some reinforcement here in the next couple of weeks. I'm with you. Both teams to score. Good parlay piece. Maybe over 2.5 would probably be my lean. I agree with your analysis, and okay, Leeds probably gets the edge there if you had to pick a winner. So, but overall, I thought a tough match to kind of go ahead and predict. All right, let's go ahead and turn our attention now to another sweet spot. I know it's a sweet spot that we both like on the bounce back, and that's Wolves taking on Fulham here. Wolves at home at the Molineux. Good performance last week against Leeds. Was unable to get a result, but I thought a decent performance by them. Now taking on newbies here, Fulham. Excellent result for them. I mean, absolutely excellent result, getting a point against Liverpool. I think it's going to be tough, though. I see Wolves. I like their team total in this one at plus money, plus 140. Plus 141 to get over 1.5 goals for a team total.
Yeah, I like Wolves here a little bit. Another team. I think that the way in this week is to think about bounce backs and teams, that didn't play their best last week, but will come in with even a little bit more focus this week. And I think that Wolves are a prime candidate, just like I thought that Villa were a prime candidate for that. And so I'm going to go the pragmatic, safe route into this one, and I'm just going to take Wolves minus a quarter of a goal on the Asian handicap. I struggle to see them losing here. I think that they have an edge. I like their front three. I like their midfield. I think that they're slightly better than Fulham at pretty much every position. They're at home, and I thought that their performance, like you mentioned last week, was a little bit better than the loss that they ended up taking there in a. Let's be real too. A very difficult first road test, going to Leeds. That's never an easy travel spot. So I like Wolves here. I like them to bounce back minus a quarter. So if it does draw, I would lose half my stake. It's basically at even money. You can find Barstool, I think, minus 103. So if I put $100 on Wolves minus a quarter and the match draws, I would essentially lose $50. So that's kind of my way in. And I think that they pick up all 3 points here.
We hung out all last season, and you had a great angle of Wolves first half draws. I remember you mentioned that last week on Pub Sports Radio, Wolves first half draw. That cashed. Do you like that again? I'm just going to ask it because it's been such a great play of yours. Do you like a first half draw?
It's been such a good play over the last 2 seasons that I think it's a good play every time. I think that if you were to hit it every single week, I think that you'll find a way to pretty much go 50-50 at the worst and juice out, I guess. It's tough to find spots for it, where it doesn't look good is basically what I'm saying. I look at it every time and I'm like, that looks pretty good. It's just about, do you want to stomach because you're basically almost the best way in with the Wolves first half draws too would be to take the exacta, the 0-0 exacta. Because that's basically what I'm always banking on when I'm taking those. It's very rare that it's ended 1-1 in a Wolves halftime draw. They're normally all 0-0s.
Last week, that unfortunately would have tripped you up. It was 1-1. So I'm going to stick to you call a draw, my man. You're awesome for the draw. All right, Saturday lunchtime, we're going to be treated to Brentford versus Manchester United. I told you we're going to cook up an anytime goal scoring parlay. I think you will see Ronaldo in the starting lineup. He was punished for him leaving the last friendly early, started off on the bench. I think he works his way in the starting lineup. Let's see if Matt and I drop him in the parlay at the end of the show. But what I do see in this game is goals. I don't want to pick a winner. Tired of picking United because of the name Manchester United, but I just see goals. Certainly see goals with this one at Brentford. United won the last 2 head-to-heads, 3-1, 3-0, but Brentford had opportunities to score in both of them. They will score in this one. If you want to do an over 2.5 and both teams will score, okay, I'm just going to roll with over 2.5 at minus 127.
Yeah, I think that the overs is the only look here. I don't like United. I certainly don't like unders. I don't think this is an unders match. I think that Ronaldo will come in and lead the line, and I think that will help United a little bit to maybe settle in. I think that he is potentially worthy of being on the anytime goal scorer parlay this week. I mean, I just struggle with this team right now. They're in such a bad way, and I just don't even really want to get involved in a lot of their matches. I like Brentford on the double chance a little bit here. I do think that they can find a way to not get beat here, but
yes,
you expect somewhat of a reaction from a new Ten Hag side in United, and they were abysmal last week, and I would expect them to perform a little bit better. This one it's overs or nothing. I think that's the way in. Overs or nothing. So I like over 2.5. I like both teams to score an over 2.5. And yeah, I think that those are like not on my card yet. I still want to wait for the lineups, but those are like, that's one of my first like possible additions.
I think United's going to be an over 2.5. Both teams will score cash machine this coming season. Don't see them keeping clean sheets against anybody. Yep. See them scoring against most teams. This team's in trouble. They're off the pace. Looked at that bench last week when I was watching the game and didn't really want anybody to come in off the bench and on the pace. That team is far off pace when it comes to top four, and you want to compare them to some teams in the top six, they still got some work. Abysmal performance, as you mentioned, at home, at Old Trafford. That's what you do in your season debut, home debut. They're in absolute trouble. Absolute trouble. All right, guys, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on Pub Sports Radio. That's all the games that we've got on Saturday. We'll, of course, cover the 2 games on Sunday. But we did get a question here from Sabino. He asked 30 minutes. We got kickoff in 30 minutes for Sevilla and Asuana. Matt, did you get in a bet? My initial thoughts are it's game 1 in La Liga, so I laid off. But my initial thoughts are Sevilla, unders, 1-0. I didn't bet it. Did you bet it? You got a tip for
I did not. I did not bet it. But I did a decent amount of capping of the Spanish league last year. But yeah, just I'm pretty much off of this one. It would be looking towards Sevilla, but I know that they've had a pretty weird summer window there. But just if you want to look into kind of what's happened in this matchup over the last 5 meetings, Sevilla has won this meeting, and they've there was 1 draw. I guess the last time that they faced was a draw, but yeah, so 4 of 5 Sevilla have won. 3 of those were they kept a clean sheet in them. But yeah, I don't have a great feel for this one. It's probably a match that I would think would be low scoring.
Yeah,
that's where I would be going, I guess. If you had, it'd be like Sevilla and under 2.5 or just unders. But yeah, just Sevilla draw no bet -150.
That's probably the best bet.
Yeah. I would be shocked. I would be surprised if Sevilla got beat here. I mean, here's the thing: is I just need to see the lineups. They're out here.
Should be. I'm with Danny though. The under 2.5 was at -180. That was just too much juice. But that's a typical Sevilla game. Play the under. Take Sevilla to win. I like that draw no bet at -150 as well. So
pretty decent Sevilla 11 in my opinion. Like I like Rafa Mir. I think that he's a pretty good striker. And then when you're looking at like who's in behind him, Papu Gomez. It's an aging kind of. Papu Gomez is pretty old. Fernando in midfield he's ancient. Thomas Delaney, the old Premier League midfielder, and then. I mean, they still have some nice wingers, though, and Jesus Corona, the Mexican, and Ocampos, and they still do have Jesus Navas. So, yeah, that should be safe. So, like, that looks like a lineup to me that Sevilla have a goal in them. Just would need to really look at Osasuna more and more to feel confident in that one.
Yep. All right, back to the EPL on Pub here on Pub Sports Radio. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notifications button. Lots of great content here on Pub Sports Radio, so you want to make sure you're notified and hit that like button as you're enjoying today's show on the EPL. Match week number 2. Let's continue going. We've got 2 more games on Sunday, and then, of course, we got Monday afternoon game as well. Let's do the first one on Sunday. It's Nottingham versus West Ham. The theme of this show has been teams on the bounce back. I think West Ham is one of those candidates on the bounce back. Will certainly look better. They went up against Manchester City. A lot of teams are going to look bad against Manchester City, like West Ham here on the bounce back. I think you've said it perfectly. I don't want to steal your words. You say why Nottingham's a great fade here earlier on. I've loved your reasoning for this.
Yeah, they just signed. It's almost like they just signed too many players, which is not a problem. It's because you have to just realize that it's 38 matches. I mean, this is going to be a long season, World Cup in the middle of it. So it's no problem that they signed those players, but it's a problem for playing in August right now and trying to get everything to gel. So that is why I think if you're looking to fade Forest, you fade them in the first 5 to 6 weeks before there's a ton of familiarity with these players. So I think that you're looking at a team in West Ham just like a team last week in Newcastle that took on Forest. More continuity, more familiarity with each player. They're better pretty much at every single position. There's some good players on this Forest team, but it's all new. And so when I'm looking to bet, especially when I'm looking to bet soccer in general, I think that my biggest bets and my biggest edges that I've experienced over the last, 4 or 5 years, it generally comes from continuity. It's like the team that knows each other better. When I feel like I have that kind of edge, those are the ones that I enjoy the most to bet. So I think that there is an edge here in that sector. And so yeah, I would only be looking at the roadside here, -115. It probably should be like a plus price. That's the only thing is like, do you want to bet them, at -115 when they should probably be like plus 105 or something? But yeah, I think that West Ham should get the job done. I'd love to see Scamacca in the starting lineup.
Yes, I love that addition over from Sassuolo in the summer transfer window there of Scamacca. I will say on this, last week I bet Newcastle team total over 1.5 goals. I like it again in this spot with West Ham team total over 1.5 goals. And then they kind of give you an idea of what I can expect from Nottingham. They're on the NBC Sports Predictor app where you can win $50,000. I did 3-1 West Ham. Nottingham at home debut in the Premier League. Hadn't been in the Premier League since God knows when off the top of my head. I think the crowd can push them to 1 goal. So I did 3-1 West Ham there on the NBC Sports Predictor app. All right, let's get to the big boy matchup. Premier League always gives us one of these every single week. This week we get Chelsea. We get Tottenham. We see top 4, top 6 clashes stay under 2.5 goals. You saw it already in match week number 1 between West Ham and City. That one stayed under 2.5 goals. I'm confident in that. Head-to-head says Chelsea should do it, but I like this Spurs team on August 12th. I like this Spurs team a lot more. I lean Spurs on the win, but I'm not willing to bet it, but I am willing to bet under 2.5.
Yeah, the more and more I keep coming up with this one, the more and more I'm probably not going to have a bet on it, which, it sucks. It's a great match. It's fun. London derby. And we'll see when the lineups drop. I always say it doesn't look like I'm going to bet this one. But then at the same time, like if I see a nice like lineup edge or something that I like, then, it's going to get bet. But it's one of these where this is a very even matchup. You pointed to the head-to-heads. Chelsea have a significant edge in the head-to-heads, but I think that Spurs are trajecting up. Chelsea slightly down, not a ton down, but they're down or they're where they were last season. So that makes this still a lot more competitive. I watched the Antonio Conte press conference. He said that they are much better than last year. They've added quality and depth to their unit, and it shows. And Kulusevski and Son. And here's the best one. I found this one out today.
Okay.
Who has the most Premier League goals in 2022?
I know it. I know Son was the first one to get 20 or more without a penalty.
So it just as a team, it's Tottenham.
Oh, it's a team. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Team, which I was shocked as and that's the thing is that's what the video is kind of stating was like everyone thinks that Antonio Conte is so defensive minded and this and that, but look, when Inter Milan won the league, they had a ton of goals. I think they came up 1 short of Atalanta. Like. It's basically when you give Conte a little bit of time to go find some of his wing backs that play as inverted wingers, like they will score goals. And so it's seeing that one is like kind of what's keeping me completely off of like even the unders in this one. I would lean under, but there's more clinical players in the Tottenham side, in my opinion. So like I would go and buck the trends here and say, Chelsea, you've won the last 5 or 6 or whatever it is in the head-to-heads. I don't think that they collect all 3 here. I think that Spurs are good enough to at least get a point. Thus, my best lean. And if, the lineups, I think, work out in my favor in a sense, like maybe it could be a small stab on Tottenham plus a quarter.
I love it. Love it. Didn't Tottenham, if I recall, last year in week 1 or 2 beat City? If I recall, they faced them earlier. Spurs, I like them. I absolutely love them.
Spurs, they're the ones that ruined Liverpool's title challenge. They went to Anfield and Liverpool couldn't beat them, and that's the reason that Liverpool didn't win the title last season was really that performance at Anfield against Spurs. that was at Anfield. This is at at Stamford Bridge. It's a little different, whatever. But like, I'm telling you that in 2022, this Spurs team is clicking in a different type of way right now. I think that they're in better form than Chelsea. I think the trend gets bucked here.
Okay, we both see that one generally the same as well. All right, Monday afternoon, when the workday ends on Monday, let's settle in and watch some good Premier League football between Liverpool and Crystal Palace. We've got both teams looking to bounce back. While Liverpool did get a point, they're a team that generally likes to get all 3 points each and every single weekend, and they were unable to do that against newbies of Fulham. Palace looked terrible on Friday night. I've been killing them every time I speak on them. They look bad, better in the second half, but okay, it's just how bad they were. I think this is another bounce back spot. We've mentioned that theme here on this show. So how do you back Liverpool? Do you want to do a Liverpool and over 1.5? Do you want to do a Liverpool team total? Do you want to do a clean sheet? I'm a little bit nervous on the clean sheet. I'm going to gravitate more towards the Liverpool team total. I think they get it done here at Anfield. I see them getting all 3 points. I see. The way Crystal Palace did their season debut, their home debut, that's the performance. Give me Liverpool in the bounce back.
Yeah, I think if they created a couple decent chances against Arsenal, but Arsenal were able to keep a clean sheet. So why can't Liverpool? Even with, here's the big if, and I think that a lot of people are starting to gravitate towards Palace here. And I'm going to caution in one way or another here because so Matip is now out. Konate is out. For those players are out for a couple weeks. Konate's been ruled out now. He's out for about 3 weeks. Jota and Thiago are out, according to what I'm reading, for 5 to 6 weeks. Jota's still not back. Okay. Dortmund, Freiburg from MMA Assault. Both teams are scoring over 2.5. I'm going to take a small stab on that one. It's live right now. You can still get it in. Tsimikas is out. Jones is out. Oxlade-Chamberlain is out. So there's a ton of injury problems right now, and people are starting to highlight that. But here's the big but, this is why Liverpool are so damn good, Jason, because their fourth center back is the center back that paired with Virgil when they won the title. It's Joe Gomez, man. Joe Gomez. Do not forget about someone like Joe Gomez, who's had injury problems, and that's the reason that he is seen as a makeshift right back for sometimes when Trent, has had too much mileage on him and, needs a break. But like Joe Gomez is just as good as Joel Matip. He might be just as good as Konate. I don't know, but like he's just different to them. And so he's going to slot in, and he's going to slot in just fine. Like they've won the title with him. It's going to be probably Henderson. I would expect Naby Keita to come back into the side and Fabinho. And then I think that Nunez is going to get his Anfield debut. I think he's going to start here. I think that Firmino comes off the bench. So it's going to be Salah, Nunez, and Diaz. I like that team.
I like that.
I like that team. I think it's good enough to probably win to 0. So I would go win to 0. I would trust that Virgil and Gomez and those guys can get up for this. Pair again. They're best friends, literally. So they're back together. So yeah, I think that people are going to gravitate towards maybe an upset here after what happened last week, and I'm not so sure. So, but really no betting value. So that would be my way in. If I have a really good weekend, maybe it'll be Liverpool win to 0.
All right, that's right, because that does end it, and that game is on Monday. Appreciate Pub Sports Radio having us on. Appreciate Slaughter cooking up the great graphics here during the show. But before we let you guys go, we told you we would cook up an anytime goal-scoring parlay. So let's go ahead and do that. And just to answer one of our first question, or a question we got from one of these great supporters out here at Pub Sports Radio, Henry says, what's the odds on Pinaldo to score? Of course, love that he said Pinaldo. That's always a running joke on all the social media platforms. Let's get you that answer, because I think Ronaldo does work himself in the starting lineup. But that being said, this isn't my anytime goal scoring parlay. This is our anytime goal scoring parlay. Do you want me to look up the price for Ronaldo, Matt? And do you want me to drop in Ronaldo in this parlay?
Let's see what the price is here. Let's go through some of these matches just kind of real quick and say yay or nay, pretty much. Villa Everton, I'm going to say nay.
Yep.
Arsenal Leicester, I could be interested in Jesus a little bit. Okay, so I think that he needs to be written down I thought that he played brilliantly last week. So Jesus is very interesting. I mean, even Vardy is too, but he let us down last week. So
Vardy let us
screw that
down.
guy.
Yeah,
Brighton, Newcastle, no thanks.
no thanks.
Man City if Holland's got to be on there. Holland's going on this thing.
Man, I think you got to do a brace or nothing though, because his one goal is like minus gazillion. If you're not willing to do a brace, I don't think you can work doing Holland, because we know the goals can come from anywhere for City. And at that price, is he getting one? I sure as hell think so. I think he's going to get a brace. That's why I bet it accordingly. But do you do that? I don't know if you can quite do that. I don't know.
I think that we can. I think that there's still going to be.
All right, I'm pulling it up.
Like minus 290 at FanDuel, but it's probably it's a little bit better elsewhere.
You keep running through the games. I'm dropping these players in as you mentioned.
Okay, I like Jesus. I like Holland, and there's the thing is Holland's left foot that I spoke about. Yeah, they've got 295. Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's 295.
It's fine though. It's going on there. It's got to go on there. It's still going to add a little bit of value here. Why not? Let's do Holland left foot then. Let's do Holland left foot minus 190.
Okay,
minus 190 on Holland left foot. So I'll find that one too. Then Southampton Leeds. I really am only interested in Bamford or pass. Wolves, Fulham. I think that it could be any one of the front three for Wolves. And I think that their defense is good enough to keep a clean sheet. So pass.
Agreed.
Pinaldo. What's Pinaldo?
Pinaldo's plus 130. I put him in, but we can always drop him out. But I did put him in.
Plus 130 on Pinaldo.
I'm also willing to only cap this to 3 players. These are hard enough. I don't want to go above 3 personally.
Okay. So then here, let's see here. Hold on.
I could do a West Ham player if you're down. I could do a Antonio, a Souček. I could do a Bowen. One of those kind of guys.
Yeah, that one's tough. I think that's what was Jesus's price?
Jesus is plus 135. He's in.
I like that. That's a good price on him, I think. He's going to take the Pens too.
If you do your Holland left boot, Ronaldo and Jesus, it's almost 8-1 at 781. I'm good with that, to be quite honest.
Yeah, so here's one. Okay, here's the one that I like a little bit more. I think that we take Ronaldo out of it.
All right, we take him out. Who am I putting in?
I think we play Nunez.
Oh, for Liverpool? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because he came off the bench, got a goal, and you obviously suspect him to start?
Yes.
Okay, because I just hate taking guys coming off the bench. I want 80 minutes or 70 minutes, but you're confident he's going to start.
So so this is the one. So the 4. If you were to go 4-teamer, it's basically 16-1 on the 4-teamer, and if you sub Ronaldo out of it, it's 6-1.
6.5-1. Yep.
Yeah, 6.5-1. So that's what we're going to go with. Let's do that. Let's go Jesus, Nunez, Holland, new faces, new teams. I love it. All leading the line. The only one that the struggle that you're taking Nunez over Salah is Salah. If there's a pen, then Salah gets it. But I like Nunez on his Anfield debut here. Jesus on his Emirates debut here. You still the week of debuts a little bit, and Holland at his Etihad debut.
Etihad debut, right?
So let's go with that. So it's Holland's left boot, and that's what makes it basically 6.5-1.
6.5-1.
I like it.
We're hitting these.
Placed.
We're hitting these again. We missed last week, so we don't shy from results.
Yeah, we went.
But we're not. Yeah, we go 2 for 3, go 2 for 4, 2 for 5. You've turned a nice little profit. All right, so just to remind everybody, it's Gabriel Jesus, Darwin Nunez there at Liverpool, Holland left boot, 6.5-1. That'll be our official Pub Sports Radio anytime goal scoring parlay right there. We've got this question's for you, Matt. I really only watch the Premier League. I only dabble in the Champions League. Favorite Bundesliga game this weekend?
Probably the one that's going on right now. The Bundesliga does a good job of making that Friday match so big. It's the one going on right now, Dortmund and Freiburg. It's definitely what I'm going to turn on right after the show.
And it's 0-0 after 10 minutes. I think obviously neither of us have watched those 10 minutes, but I would still think both teams will score on over 2.5. Still a great play. And with 10 minutes already down in the match, the price is only that much better.
Yep, probably even money now after 10 minutes. So I like it.
All right, there we have it, guys. One programming note. We will be with you guys Wednesday next week at 2 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Pub Sports Radio is where you can find the EPL on Pub. Otherwise, we'll be back on our normal Friday slot. But come check us out Wednesday at 2 p.m. Appreciate Pub Sports Radio. Appreciate Slaughter making this show look good and sound good. Appreciate it. And always to the viewing audience, appreciate it. Hit that like button on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe and enjoy Match Week number 2 in the Premier League.